Hi everybody, let's talk sunscreen. I know sunscreen is hard to find, like a good body and face sunscreen that actually works and doesn't leave you greasy, doesn't leave white streaks, and is healthy for your skin. And so my goal this summer was to find something that works for me. And I've played with both physical sunscreens, aka mineral sunscreens, that is going to be a zinc oxide or a titanium dioxide formula, or a chemical sunscreen. So what prompted this is I'm trying to get pregnant. My doctor's like, you should probably avoid chemical sunscreens. And I was like, oh, interesting. I've never really searched for mineral sunscreens because mineral sunscreens tend to be a little bit more expensive. So I kind of went this summer and I actually ended up trying both just to see how healthy I could get, my skin. And I've got some winners and I've got some losers. And I thought I would show them to you because I've actually tried 8 new sunscreens this year. And I've got one repeat. So I'm going to show you all 9 and I'm going to kind of rank them. And I'm going to tell you what I think about each one. You ready? All right, let's dive into it. The first brand I'm going to be talking about is Innisfree Daily UV Defense Sunscreen. This one right here. So this is a chemical sunscreen. I got this little one from Sephora in their sunscreen kit. And I had high hopes for this brand because this is reported to be a really clean brand. Now this is a chemical sunscreen. It's one that I was trying to avoid, but I was like, if I'm going to go with something like this, I want it to be cleaner. And that's exactly what I did. However, this did not stop me from burning. Now, it could be because this is SPF 36. It's not the highest SPF that I tried, but I put this on as a beach day, and I put it on my face, shoulders, and chest. This actually was like one full use for me, like it just one day and this was gone. And it kind of left an oily feeling on my skin, and then I ended up burning. And this was not a day, I was joking how like in June, and I was going to go to the beach and I was going to have this whole long thing where I was going to be there for hours. That didn't end up happening. I ended up going with my nieces and nephews, and they aren't really old enough to be at the beach all day. So I was only there for like 2 hours, and this didn't even hold up for half the time. So I don't recommend this one at all. Like not even at all. So wah, wah, wah. Okay, let's get to a mineral sunscreen that I tried for the very first time. Again, one that I had super high hopes for. This is the Mad Hippie sunscreen. I like this for 2 reasons. One, it was a spray. It's really hard to find a mineral sunscreen in a spray that actually sprays well and covers it. So this is a zinc oxide base. It's 14% zinc oxide. This is supposed to be reef safe. It looks like this, really cute packaging with a little bird on the flower. This does not blend in. So it might say sheer mineral sun spray. But this, if you spray it, I'm going to spray it and you're going to see exactly what happens. You ready? It's pure white. It is pure white. And you might be like, Julie, rub it in. Okay, fine. Do you see I'm still white toned? It's so streaky. And one of the reasons why I like spray sunscreens is because it's supposed to be easy to reach your back. I shouldn't have to rub it in. So I will tell you, while I do not like the way this looks, because it turns you just straight white. I'll never forget, my husband and I went canoeing and I sprayed this on his back and his back was just white the entire trip. And when you layer it, when you try and put like your second layer on in, an hour, it just gets more white. Now, I will tell you, it works. I did not get sunburned by using this, but I looked like I had mineral sunscreen on. And I guess that's okay, but that's not what an ideal sunscreen for me is. I guess, yeah, it's just not ideal. So let's move on to the next one, because that's also another one I wouldn't recommend. First of all, it's a little bit more expensive. Even if it is on sale, in which I bought it, it was on sale. It was like buy one, get one 40% off or something at Ulta. I ended up returning the second one because I hated this so much. So I just have this one. I did not return it because I had actually sprayed a good chunk of it. Yeah, and I'll even tell you, they say shake it before using it. You can shake this thing, I swear, for freaking hours, and you'll still get white, so sorry. Okay, the next one is another mineral-based sunscreen. This is a squalene and zinc sheer mineral sunscreen by Biosense. This one wasn't bad, it just was different. So because there's a squalene in it, that is a hydrator. And I always find that sunscreens, they add a shine to your face no matter what. So adding a squalene in just added this like hydration on hydration look to my skin, and I ended up thinking, oh, it's good, but it was like a little too much for me. So this one, just to show you, is a pure white, but when you rub this one in, it goes clear. So that's a bonus about this particular mineral sunscreen. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but it adds a lot of glow to the skin. And if that's what you're looking for, again, I thought this one worked well. I didn't burn with this one. This one actually did a good job of keeping and protecting my skin. And I like the fact it was a mineral sunscreen. It just was extra dewiness that I don't think you need when you're going out in the sun and you're about to sweat, you know, but I do like this one. I recommend it. You just have to know that you'll be glowy. Now, I will tell you it was lightweight. It wasn't like a tinted moisturizer where you kind of feel like you're wearing foundation. This was like it was just felt like a moisturizer. And eventually that feeling just goes away. So props to this on that one. All right. You can kind of tell I'm going from like my least favorite to my most favorite. We're going from least to most here. The next one I've got is the La Roche-Posay. This is the Antelios 60. This is the Melton Sunscreen Milk. Okay, so, boom. The only downside about this one is that it is not it's not a physical sunscreen. It is not mineral based, it is chemical based, but this is another lotion based one. It looks like this. If you want a lightweight sunscreen for face and body, this is what I recommend to a lot of my guests, actually. It goes onto the skin and it almost feels like you're putting on body lotion. It doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel sticky, and it doesn't feel powdery. It just feels like a regular lotion. Now that I've said all the wonderful things about it, I will tell you, this one has a scent to it. It smells like a sunscreen smell. The other ones, you notice, I haven't said anything about it because I haven't noticed anything about it, but this one has a noticeable sunscreen scent. And there's not even supposed to be scent in here because this is designed for sensitive skin. But, yeah. I'll also tell you, every once in a while, if I layer this too much, like if I go for a second layer on it, my skin starts to turn white and it looks flaky. So this really is not one that like I can use like 5 days in a row without like making sure I scrub it, because for some reason I think if I use this too often it does dry out my skin, which is interesting. Now it doesn't stop me from using it because I think that the 60 is a good number to hit. I try and hit between like a 30 to a 50, and the 60 is kind of like a bonus, and I like the fact I can use this on both my face and my body. And I like how light it is. Like that's the best part, is how light it is. But every once in a while, I'll just like look like my skin is cracking or ashy because I've not applied this one correctly. So something to keep in mind there. This one, the Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Recovery, this is SPF 50. I would really say this is a day cream. While it has an SPF in it, I don't recommend using this like sunscreen. I ended up using it like sunscreen, and I learned when I was using it, it really isn't. I would first of all, it's too expensive to be like a beach sunscreen. But I will tell you, the moisturization behind this is really nice. And unlike the Biosense, I didn't see as much glow out of this one. So I did like it for my face. I thought it did a really good job. It's not technically a primer, But if you're just looking for like a sunscreen, like a nice, fancy, good quality, clean ingredient sunscreen, I would check Dermalogica out and see what you think about it. Because I enjoyed this one. I think in terms of like just a moisturizing day cream with sunscreen, that one was really nice, and I enjoyed that one, thus why it's on the top half of my list. Then we get to the Mineral Sunbum Sunscreen Lotion SPF 30. Here she is in all of her glory. It's a zinc oxide based product, and this is probably my favorite body sunscreen that I have found so far. I really have enjoyed this one. First of all, the price point is right. A lot of my other products are high-end sunscreens, and it just gets expensive if you're putting it on your body. And I think this one does a really good job. First of all, I love the fact it's mineral. That's why it's beating the La Roche-Posay. That's why it's beating the Dermalogica, because I actually have a mineral sunscreen that I can use here. And well, if I compare it directly to this one, because these are like similar price points, the La Roche-Posay and the Sunbum. The La Roche-Posay is a chemical sunscreen, and chemical sunscreens I find very weird that they turn white, as opposed to zinc-based products, which I do expect to turn a little white on my skin. But this one does a really good job of blending in. Like, if you actually blend it in, it does a really nice job in getting it all clear. Now, I don't have the drying either from this mineral sunscreen. I don't know if it's because it's mineral that my skin isn't drying out when I use this, but it doesn't have the flaking and cracking of the La Roche-Posay. So I am very excited to have found this one. I definitely think that it's safe for sensitive skin. I definitely think it's hypoallergenic, and I love that fact. This one I would not put on my face. It does kind of go to a powder version. I'm sorry, I put it on my arm off camera here. It does kind of go to like a powdery version, so it feels a little bit heavier than a lot of other sunscreens that I've got. But for the body, it's perfect, and that's why we are solidly in the middle of the bunch here. But I'm about to go to my 3 favorite sunscreens, and I think all 3 of these are winners, but I would put them only on my face just because price point and use this on my body. Okay, let's talk about priming sunscreens. So there are 2 big ones that I think that are pretty similar, and I like both of them for the same reason. So Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. I actually have tried that one this summer. I just don't know where the bottle of it is right now. And I think I have a dupe for it. They're both stupid expensive. It's a dupe, like they're this basically a very similar product when they do the same thing and they look the same on your face. But if you can't find the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen, try the Peter Thomas Roth. This is the Max Clear Invisible Priming Sunscreen, broad SPF 45. These are designed to be sunscreens for your face. And what really makes the 2 of them stand apart, both the Unseen Sunscreen as well as the Peter Thomas Roth, is they have almost like a Smashbox priming, silicone feel, clear consistency. It looks like a clear silicone-based primer, which is so interesting to me. Now, both are chemical-based sunscreens, so they're not ones I'm going to purchase this year, but I love the fact that it feels like a makeup primer. And both of them did a good job, both the Unseen Sunscreen as well as the Peter Thomas Roth, for keeping my face free from sun damage. I did not get any sunburn while using these 2 products, but it also did not add shine to the face, which was so amazing. It left almost like this matte texture. I guess, yeah, it's like a pore filling primer. It like smoothed the texture on my face. It mattified everything. Both the Unseen Sunscreen as well as this one were great for that, and they looked good underneath foundations. They're ones that you don't have to worry about using every day underneath your sunscreen and adding like that fake chemical glow. The only thing that could make them better is to make them mineral, but I bet you because of that priming complex that it has in there, they can't use a physical sunscreen because those 2 would probably collide, because literally a physical sunscreen sits on top of the skin, and for a primer you kind of want it to go like into the skin. Like that's kind of what you want it to do because you want to improve that skin texture. So I like this one. Peter Thomas Roth, you have a winner. I wish I had like a little bit left to show you, but it's very different. It's not a lotion. Like really think of it like, maybe I'll get a little bit out. no, I like used every drop of it. That's how much I liked it. But it's just a little clear primer in there. So highly recommend. Enjoy this one, especially if you're okay not using mineral sunscreens. So my top two, my top two. I am debating which one I want to put in the top spot. And they're both mineral-based sunscreens. And I really enjoyed both of them. Let's talk about Dr. Dennis Gross first. And then we'll go to my number one choice. And I'm going to tell you, it was like 98 versus 99. Like that's how close they were in my rating scale because this guy is fantastic. So I love the fact that it is reef safe. I love the fact it is a mineral-based sunscreen. And I love the fact that it went on clear, but as soon as I rubbed it into my face, it disappeared like that. There was no excess work on here. It did come out as like a white lotion, and it has this really cool, it has an applicator like this. It comes out like a white lotion, and I literally just dragged it around my face wherever I wanted to apply it, rubbed it in, and I was done. It sunk in like instantly. There was none of that tacky or like slick feeling to it. It didn't feel oily. I love the fact this was super lightweight. When this says lightweight defense, wrinkle defense, it is super, super lightweight. Now, there's no oil in here, so it didn't break me out, but I also put it on like my shoulders, and it did a good job there too. This is one that you can play around with, be like, oh my god, I forgot my body sunscreen. You can throw this on. The only downside is a little expensive. Now, the other downside is only an SPF 30. So, while I was saying earlier, I tend to go between a 30 and a 50. The reason why this isn't in the number one spot is literally because it is a 30 and not a 50. But oh my gosh, absolutely fantastic product. 10 out of 10. Would recommend if you're going to the beach, if you have sensitive skin, try this one out. You can throw it in your bag. This lasted me, this 1 ounce lasted me forever. And just some other things about Dennis Gross in general and this product: cruelty-free, vegan, fragrance-free, paraben-free, phthalate-free. It's just a great, clean product, and highly, highly recommend this one. Enjoyed it. Now, I chose Clinique as my number one, which I am totally shocked by. This is the Clinique Pep Start Daily UV Protector Broad Spectrum SPF 50. So this is a mineral-based sunscreen. I love the fact it is SPF 50. This one is fragrance-free. It is tested by dermatologists to make sure it's okay for sensitive skin. This is not cruelty-free, which is a huge bummer, and I don't think it's vegan as well, but this one is really nice. I'm going to show you why. First of all, you shake it. Most of the sunscreens you do have to shake. I think that's just part of the jam. You have a nice focus tip on there, and I did not realize it's tinted. When I first put it on, it is tinted. So while this is a mineral-based sunscreen, there's no way to get any white onto your face from this because it is already tinted a color. And this is one that I feel like when I went to the beach or when I'm going out about town, I can throw on the sunscreen and it kind of just blurs my face. So there's no thickness to it. It's not heavy. It's still that lightweight consistency, but it's almost like a tinted moisturizer almost. There's like a great SPF in there, and it doesn't have shine to it. It's this demi-matte finish in my opinion, and it just looks so fantastic when you apply it to your skin. And I know that I am safe with that SPF 50 and I don't have to worry about any burning coming through. So that is why it ended up being my number one winner. And I'm so surprised that I chose Clinique as my number one winner. I would have never guessed that, but it was really close between the Dennis Gross and the Clinique. But in the long run, Clinique just came out on top because that little bit of tint. The only thing I would trade off is that cruelty-free status. Like, that was it. I could have really put the Dennis Gross on top. I'm now thinking about, I'm like, should I put it? Because cruelty-free is important to me. But I would rather probably have a tint than cruelty-free. I'm sorry, little bunnies. But yeah, I'm super excited. This was like a very fun thing for me to explore. I definitely think I'm going to be buying some more sunscreens and testing them out. And I've got actually some more sunscreens here in the house to test as well. I got some more from Sephora. I know it looks like I've used a lot, but I have even more from that Sephora sunscreen kit. And maybe some of my favorites will like change up. You never know. You never know. Well, thank you all so much for watching. What sunscreen do you use? Like, is there a mineral sunscreen that I missed that you think I should try? Or is there one that like works better with evening out your skin tone? Because I learned that that is like my number one thing that I want to do when I go to the beach. I want to look perfected and not greasy and oily. I just want to be protected, sunscreen, mineral. Those are my main things. And I want to be lightweight. I don't like when you have that heaviness on your skin. You know, you just want to have fun at the beach. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm excited for your feedback. This is going to be so much fun. We can collaborate down below to find out like which sunscreen is the best. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.